to the German language distance learning program for beginners. This is a joint program conducted by the Indira Gandhi National Open University in collaboration with Max Müller Bhavan, the German Cultural Center in India. Herzlich willkommen zum Fernkurs Deutsch als Fremdsprache für Anfänger. Ein gemeinsames Programm zwischen der Indira Gandhi National Open University und dem Goethe-Institut Max Müller Bhavan, dem Deutschen Kulturzentrum in Indien.
You're listening to Radio D, the radio language course of Redaktion D. A joint project of the Goethe Institute and Deutsche Welle Radio. The author is Herat Mese.
Hello listeners, a warm welcome to episode 2 of the German language course Radio D. Now, you may remember the young man Philip in the first episode. He drove into the country full of enthusiasm, but didn't find the idyll he expected there. He's bothered by flies and stung by a bee, and he flees from the garden to his room. But he doesn't find the peace and quiet he wants there either. Listen to this scene and decide what's bothering Philip.
Nein, bitte nicht! Oh nein, bitte nicht. Frau.
Surfen Sie jetzt mit Spider ins Internet. Jetzt sofort mit Spider ins Web.
Von Vorrichten. Deutschlandfunk. 17 Uhr die Nachrichten. Berlin. Das Bundesgesundheitsministerium hat im Skandal um das Medikament Placebo Forte erste Konsequenzen gezogen.
Hallo, liebe Hörerinnen und Hörer.
Bit hard to tell which is worse on the nerves, a circular saw or someone practicing the trumpet. Philip is obviously bothered by both, and he tries to drown those noises out. He's looking for a radio programme, but he doesn't find anything he really likes. He's so agitated that he fails to notice that he's actually tuned to a station that's going to become very important to him. The phone in Hannah's hallway rings and the caller asks for Philip. Listen in and try to find out who's calling and where they want Philip to go.
Hanne Frisch, guten Tag. Philipp? Ja, der ist da. Einen Moment bitte. Philipp!
Ja?
Telefon!
Was?
Telefon!
Wer?
Paula.
Wer?
Paula von Radio D.
Hallo, Paula? Was? Ist ja super. Okay, ich komme sofort. Tschüss. Mutter, ich fahre nach Berlin.
Was? Nach Berlin? Sofort?
Ja, sofort. Zu Paula von Radio D. Sorry.
Well, something big seems to have happened there. A woman called Paula has rung, and she's apparently with a broadcaster called Radio D. She wants Philip to come to Berlin. That's all we'll find out in this edition. Why he should go to Berlin, what Radio D is, and what Philip's got to do with it is for the coming episodes. Here's our professor.
Yes, dear listeners, we have another tip for you to facilitate your understanding of German. In scene 2, you heard a woman called Paula phone Philip, and that Paula is with Radio D.
Paula von Radio D.
Our listeners probably understood the word radio, even though they wouldn't have known it in German yet.
There are many German words whose meaning you can guess. They may sound similar in your own language, or you may know them from English or French. Although most of these words sound a bit different in German, they do often sound very similar. Listen to the word radio once more in German, in English and in French. Pay particular attention to the different accentuations.
Radio, radio, radio.
Was, nach Berlin? Sofort?
Ja, sofort. Zu Paula von Radio D. Sorry.
Understanding an international word like that is, of course, made easier if you have a sound to go with it, like the tractor, say.
Traktor, Traktor.
Naja, der Traktor.
If there's no sound, you can sometimes get the drift of what's being said from the intonation, from the way it's said. Philip, for example, is really happy and expresses that with the word super.
Super, super.
Super. Einfach super hier.
But when you've got someone speaking more or less neutrally, like a newsreader, say, that tip's not much help, of course.
That's quite right. You really have to prick up your ears in that case. Give it a go. Can you hear the word Konsequenzen?
Deutschlandfunk. 17 Uhr die Nachrichten. Berlin. Das Bundesgesundheitsministerium hat im Skandal um das Medikament Placebo Forte erste Konsequenzen gezogen.
Well, you probably picked quite a bit more out of that news item. That's because the news is structured in a particular way. First, you hear the name of the station, then the time, then the announcement that news is coming, and in Germany you also often hear the name of the city the news is from or about.
That's right. In the last example, dear listeners, you could combine two techniques. You know that proper names occur in many news items, like the names of cities, politicians, sportspeople, and so on. And you were waiting for words you know from your own or another language. Together, that helped you to understand quite a bit of what you were hearing, right?
Deutschlandfunk. 17 Uhr die Nachrichten. Berlin.
That's it. School's out for the day.
Oh no, just a second, please. I'd like to point out something. Okay. In Germany, when the phone rings, it's usual to say your name first when you answer it, not just hello or yes.
Anne Frisch, guten Tag. Philipp? Ja, der ist da. Einen Moment bitte. Philipp!
Ja?
Telefon!
Was?
Telefon!
Here's the scene with the phone call again, broken up into smaller bits. Before you listen to it, though, we'd like you to do the following exercise. You can say the words quietly or loudly, but in German, of course. The phone rings in the house. Hannah Frisch answers it and asks the caller, a woman, to hang on for a moment. What does Hannah Frisch say?
Hannah Frisch, guten Tag. Philipp? Ja, der ist da. Einen Moment bitte.
Hannah Frisch says to the caller, einen Moment bitte, and then she calls Philip to the phone. What does she say?
Philipp!
Ja?
Telefon!
Was?
Telefon!
Okay, Frau Frisch calls Telefon, and Philip is of course keen to know who wants to speak to him. What information does Hannah Frisch pass on about Paula?
Paula.
Wer?
Paula von Radio D.
She whispers to Philip that Paula at Radio D is on the line. What word does Philip use to greet Paula?
Hallo, Paula?
Philip chooses the greeting that friends use, hallo, and he's very happy about the news Paula has for him. What word does he use in response?
Hallo, Paula? Was? Ist ja super!
Well, you must have heard that Philip is really excited. He thinks the news is super. Hannah Frisch, though, is not at all pleased to hear Philip say he has to leave again immediately. What city is he driving to?
Mutter, ich fahre nach Berlin.
Was? Nach Berlin? Sofort?
Yep, Philip will be driving to Berlin, the German capital. Why he's very keen to go there, whether he arrives there, and just who it is who rang him, you'll hear in the coming episodes. For now, though, thanks for being with us, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Radio D, a German course of the Goethe Institute and Deutsche Welle Radio.
Besten Dank, dass Sie unseren Deutschkurs für Anfänger eingeschaltet haben. Detaillierte Informationen über den Kurs bekommen Sie im Studienzentrum, Regionalzentrum und im Max-Müller-Bhavan. Thank you for tuning in to our German language program for beginners. Detailed information regarding this program is available at your study center, regional center and at the Max Müller Bhavan.